Hi guys, Joanna here, and today I'm reviewing some hyped Middle Eastern perfumes. I have received these fragrances since February and some actually even in January. It's just that I was on holidays for almost 2 months, so I've been testing out these fragrances on skin and on clothes for the past month, and basically I am ready to give you the final tea about them. And just to let you know, all these fragrances are gifted to me except the last fragrance that I'm going to talk about. So first up, let's talk about the latest releases of Khadlaj. I have here 4 perfumes from Khadlaj. I've received them since end of January. I have tested these fragrances for quite some time now, and let me give you the tea. First up is Nuha Bonbon. So as you see the bottle, it looks very girly, very feminine. Love the iridescent pink and yellow color of the bottle. It's kind of like giving the vibe of the scent. So it has peach, milk, strawberry, orange blossom, ice cream, and vanilla. I have tried this fragrance in Beauty World for the first time, and I remember it to be fruity floral. Fast forward, I got it in PR, and I've worn it several times when I was in Philippines. And yes, I'm still gonna consider it as a fruity floral scent. It's kind of even giving like a designer perfume vibe. So, having said that, very sweet, fruity, floral forward. I would say yes, peach and strawberry are very prominent here, along with sweet orange blossom as well. So everything is sweet. Now, am I getting here like vanilla ice cream? Not really. To me, this is, yeah, a fruity floral scent. I don't really find it like milky sweet, but it is sweet. I'm not gonna categorize it as like, yeah, something that smells like an ice cream sweet, but it is like sweet fruits. Yeah, almost like candy. The floral that they use in here, it's a kind of sweet orange blossom that we get from a lot of designer perfumes. So yeah, having said that, it's like a very sweet synthetic orange blossom along with the sweet peach and strawberry notes in here. Overall, I like this fragrance. I think it is very mass appealing. I know that there's a lot of ladies out there who enjoys fruity floral scent. So yeah, you might enjoy Nuha Bonbon. Now, apparently it is inspired by Juliet Has a Gun Miami Shake. I haven't tried that fragrance yet, so I am not gonna say how close they are, but all I can say is that Nuha Bonbon is a pretty scent. It's giving fruity floral designer kind of scent. So if you enjoy sweet fruity floral scents, then I think you're gonna love Nuha Bonbon. When it comes to performance, I will say it performed right off the bat. It lasted me around 5 to 7 hours with moderate projection. Once again, Nuha Bonbon by Khadlaj. All right, next up is Mansion. Once again, by Khadlaj. By the way, I like the design of this simple, clean, aesthetic bottle. Now, let's talk about the scent. The first time I tried this fragrance, I didn't even know if it was an original creation or inspired fragrance, but I figured out straight away that it is very, very close to Angel Share Paradis. And what can I say? It is a beautiful, sweet, boozy fragrance. The Kilian's Angel Share DNA is definitely there with added raspberry. To me, it smells like caramelized raspberry with hints of boozy notes. Yeah, the final dry down though is quite woody. However, I would say still sweeter and boozier than woody. Now, I love Mansion. This is a kind of sweet, boozy, woody scent that I would love to use in the fall and winter time. I love the fact that it didn't give like any screechy vibes, because normally with this kind of scent profile, I do get like something screechy or plasticky, but I didn't get it in Mansion. I really love and enjoy this fragrance. And I think this is an Angel Share Paradis that is very unisex. Are they similar? I will say yes. Very, very similar to Angel Share Paradis. However, I just want to mention that if you have Royal Blend Sequoia from French Avenue, you don't need Mansion because they are very, very similar. Maybe the only difference is that Mansion is more unisex because with Royal Blend Sequoia, it can come across to be more masculine leaning, and Mansion is more of like, something just right in between. This fragrance is beautiful. Performance is above average, and I really, really enjoy this fragrance. I highly recommend it for someone who enjoys sweet, boozy scents. So I would say if you're the type who loves anything Angel Share DNA, this is like a no-brainer for you. Once again, Mansion by Khadlaj. All right, next up is Onyx Silver. Now, this is a banger, in my opinion. As you see, the bottle looks very masculine leaning, and yes, it is. And I love it on a man. So, it has black pepper, bergamot, ginger, cardamom, petitgrain, benzoin, labdanum, patchouli, and tonka bean. Onyx Silver is a peppery, fresh, spicy, but with depth kind of scent. This to me smells rich, kind of like quiet luxury style, and I really, really love it. I also have Onyx Gold, and I like that fragrance as well. However, I love Onyx Silver more because this is like a perfect everyday quiet luxury fragrance for men. I have received a lot of fragrances for men from different brands, and I would say amongst all the new fragrances that I received in PR for men, Onyx Silver is one of my favorites. I would say in my top three. This is a beautiful, fresh, spicy kind of scent. I love the peppery opening as it dries down, the depth coming from the benzoin, patchouli, labdanum, and tonka bean gave this fragrance strong base that is quite remarkable. Apparently, it is inspired by Khadlaj by Parfums de Marly. Is it a one-to-one dupe? Of course not, but I will still highly recommend Onyx Silver because this is really a good one. Probably, like, yeah, my top two favorite in today's video, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a quiet, luxury, everyday scent for men. When it comes to performance, I will say it's moderate. Lasts on my husband around 4 to 6 hours with moderate projection, which is also perfect for the kind of quiet luxury vibe that Onyx Silver has. Highly recommend this fragrance for men. All right, and the last from Khadlaj is the most talked about Sawaar Vanille Blanc. Now, before leaving on holidays in January, I think everyone was talking about it already. So I was so excited to receive it when I was in Dubai. This is for all the sweet vanilla lovers out there. So it has vanilla, powdered sugar, apple, cashmere wood, amber, white blossom, vanilla, sandalwood, and benzoin. I would say this smells like a sugared vanilla with an underlying sweet, slightly resinous amber and benzoin. It is a beautiful fragrance. As a matter of fact, I've used this fragrance on Valentine's Day along with the last perfume. So I basically did like a combo, and I enjoy this fragrance so much. I would say this is a very likable scent for women because it is a vanilla forward scent, very sugary sweet. Sugary sweet, however, as mentioned, there's like slight resinous amber in the background. So yeah, I really, really enjoy this fragrance. And honestly, I understand the hype for Sawaar Vanille Blanc. Now, I just want to mention that these two are very, very similar. I will say the slight difference is that with Vanilla Skin, I get like a slight smokiness, which I find very sexy. With Sawaar Vanille Blanc, I don't get that smokiness, so I'm not really considering it as like a sensual vanilla scent. This is more of like a likable sugared vanilla scent. Yeah, I'm gonna put it like that. And I think a lot of you will enjoy this fragrance. Very mass appealing, lasts on me around 5 to 8 hours, and it actually lingers on clothes. Beautiful vanilla scent. Once again, Sawaar Vanille Blanc by Khadlaj, and I find this fragrance to be feminine leaning. Speaking of sweet scents, I have here two fragrances from Orientica, and you know how much I love Orientica bottles. These are heavy and I am so thrilled to add it in my collection. Now, let's talk about the scent. I think this is a very straightforward pistachio marshmallow scent. Very gourmand, that's for sure, and fluffy, almost like a pistachio flavored cotton candy. Yeah, that's the exact description of it. It's a very straightforward scent. It's a fresh, sweet pistachio cotton candy. It is for gourmand lovers. And if you enjoy Kayali pistachio, you gonna love Pistache Absolu. I will say though that if you have any kind of dupes of Kayali Yam Pistachio Gelato, you don't need Pistache Absolu because it will definitely be redundant. However, if you love the bottle and if you're the type who collects beautiful bottles in your collection and you're looking for something very similar for Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato, Pistache Absolu will be the one for you. Pistache Absolu has above average performance. I will say it lasts on me around 5 to 8 hours and it lingers on the skin and on clothes beautifully. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a fluffy pistachio cotton candy gourmand scent. Next up is Cafe Arabica. So another beautiful bottle, and as the name suggests, Cafe Arabica, this is a coffee forward fragrance, but it is a kind of coffee fragrance that is also gourmand. This has ice cream, coffee, amaretto, tonka, caramel, amber, vanilla, ambergris, and musk. This smells heavenly to me. Now, this to me smells like a coffee flavored ice cream. It is quite addictive, and I also enjoy the slight booziness in the background. Cafe Arabica is sweet, however, not too sweet for my liking. It is a kind of gourmand scent that I will wear. This will be perfect for fall and winter time, whereas Pistache Absolu can be for spring. Cafe Arabica to me is giving fall season vibes. It is quite addictive, very similar to Mancera's Amore Cafe. I highly recommend it if the sound of a coffee gourmand scent sounds appealing to you. This to me smells like a coffee flavored ice cream with slight booziness. Love this fragrance. Lasts me around 5 to 7 hours. Once again, Cafe Arabica by Orientica. All right, next up is Plum Liquor by Paris Corner. Now, this is also gifted to me. I see this fragrance a lot in TikTok, and all I can say is that, yes, it is plum liqueur. However, it's like a very, very sweet plum liqueur scent. So the notes are plum, lychee, pear, plum liqueur, davana, rose, labdanum, oak moss, and sweet notes. To me, this smells like a very sweet, fruity scent. Yes, the plum and pear are prominent to me. Now, if you've tried the plum liqueur, you know that it's not really like boozy or alcoholic. It's actually very sweet. So Plum Liquor also smells very, very sweet. This is a kind of fruity scent that is too sweet, fruity for my style. Plum Liquor has freshness though. However, I think it's covered up by the overly sweet fruits that are in here. Not my favorite, but it doesn't mean that it won't work for you, because I think that it is actually a very likable scent, especially for someone who's into sweet, fruity fragrances. You know what? I actually saw in Fragrantica that people are comparing it to Badi Al Oud Sublime by Lattafa. And funny enough, because I didn't like that fragrance as well. Yes, they are in the same category. That if you enjoy that fragrance, you will enjoy Plum Liquor as well. There's something bubble gummy about it. So yeah, I would say sweet, sugary, candied, fruity scent. So yeah, that's the scent category of Plum Liquor, and I find it to be feminine leaning. Performance is above average, lasts me around 5 to 7 hours as well, with moderate protection. All right, and last but not the least is the very hyped Eternal Vanille by Lattafa. If you follow me in TikTok, I already gave you my first impression about this fragrance because I got this on launch date. I was in Dubai transiting and I ordered it online. I was so thrilled and excited because of how this fragrance was advertised. I saw that Lattafa used like a patented cocoa pulse. Now, let's talk about the scent of Eternal Vanille. It has blackberry, cocoa pulse, cacao, vanilla, caviar, akigala wood, amberfix, tonka bean, cedarwood, musk, and benzoin. Now, right off the bat, I like this fragrance a lot. And my first impression was out in TikTok. I told you guys that I really like it. I'm gonna categorize it as a sweet vanilla woody scent. Yeah, that has some cacao nuance in the background. Overall, it is still sweet for me. However, because of the benzoin, akigala wood, tonka bean, and cedarwood in the base, it gave this fragrance that niche vibes to me. So yeah, as mentioned, this is a woody gourmand that has like cacao nuance. Is it a very likable scent? I would say not really, because to me, this has like some niche quality in it. Not mass appealing, but certainly a beautiful blend. Now, my tea about it is that people are saying that it is a dupe of Vanille Antique by Byredo, and it's not, okay? As mentioned, Eternal Vanille is more of like a woody gourmand, and Vanille Antique is not woody gourmand at all. Also, I saw people comparing it as well with Oud Cadenza by Maison Crivelli, and honestly, guys, I don't know who thought of that because they are not similar at all. I have Oud Cadenza, and if you watch my channel, you know how much I love Oud Cadenza. I'm basically just waiting for me to finish my travel size for me to purchase a full bottle, and they are not similar at all. Oud Cadenza is way more complex, as this is like a sweet, woody, resinous, woody scent. Eternal Vanille, in my opinion, is a fragrance of its own. And Lattafa, I know, has claimed that as well. So yeah, to me, this is a beautiful scent that has niche quality. I find the final dry down to be very sensual and sexy. I layered these two on Valentine's Day, guys, and delectable. What I love about Eternal Vanille is that it has that deep and dark facet, which is kind of like my vibe. I would say a little bit vampy as well. If I can think of a fragrance that is similar, yeah, I would say Vanille Antique. I say similar vibes, okay, but they are not dupes at all. I find Eternal Vanille to be like a perfect woody gourmand. It smells niche, in my opinion, and I can tell that it has very good quality. So I'm very, very happy to add Eternal Vanille in my collection. This is my favorite in today's list, along with Onyx Silver for men, while Eternal Vanille, I will say, is unisex. Actually, I think a lot of men will enjoy this fragrance, especially if you're the type who enjoys gourmand scents. Performance of Eternal Vanille is amazing, lasts more than 8 hours, and I love the fact that it is not really beast mode, but it has a beautiful lingering power. And I love it for that. Dark, sensual, quite bumpy as well. So that is the video for today, guys. Those are my honest opinions about these fragrances. Let me know if you've tried any of them and if you agree or you don't. Yeah, I would love to know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you all so much for watching and see you on my next one. Bye!